All right, all right. We are live. We are live. Saturn. No, I'm jumping the gun. It's not Saturday. It's not Saturday night. It's Friday night. See, I'm on thirsty, y'all. About to put y'all in Saturday when it's they say it's Friday, but
Still, right.
yeah,
Feel like
family.
Saturday actually though.
It do right. It
It feels
do.
good.
It do. It got Saturday vibes to it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Come on in. Come on in the building. I see all y'all in the building. Bar heavy. Divine Age of Wisdom. I see the FBA in the chat. OB1111 in the chat. Shout out to all of y'all in the chat. We're gonna have a great show. Occult heavy tonight. Um,
Heavy.
yeah, it's gonna be heavy on the occult tonight, heavy on the esoteric side tonight. I want to take this time. We got the Pope with us today. The Pope is dressed. The Pope is in full Saturn mode. This is Dark Pope. This is the Black Pope tonight. You know how Phil talking about the Black Pope. We got the Black Pope. Blue Pillar. Welcome to the show once again, my brother.
Honors once again. Give thanks. And my Facebook reminded me that we
Oh,
actually was here last year
ooh.
doing a wrap up on the portal. This when we did our portal.
Oh,
The Pope opening the portals.
wow.
Remember, he did that Christmas Eve, and then those
Yeah.
portals leading into this year, which was a portal year, proved me wrong.
Sure, I'm telling you. It was a
So,
portal year. It's a timeline year.
and it's an honor once again because it shows us like we can end it right here
Yeah.
because we naturally exhibit cycles.
Mm,
If no one else, you know what I'm
mm,
saying? The way that
mm,
we synchronize and just end up doing things that were not pre-planned, and
mm.
then we find receipts that says, "Yo, this lines up perfect." In terms of cycles, right? We all always unconsciously keeping cycles. So this whole concept of Saturn is the keeper of cycles for all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And those cycles to become so repetitious until it's like muscle memory.
Indeed, indeed. All right, let's get this thing going. Shout out to everybody in the chat once again. Let me read this for you, Blue. Hold up. Let me read this. Let's get this thing going.
Mhm.
The name of the show is Saturnalia Holy Days, family. So let me read this for you. And the
Oh,
reason why I want to have the show, Blue, is because if you go on YouTube, there's not a lot of good information. There's a lot of Christian based information on Saturnalia. So a lot of like I even seen the dude that try to set up Billy Westhoff. He got a video about Saturnalia and Christian and Christmas not being a pagan holiday. So a lot of Christians are on YouTube. Nothing wrong with that. Or Christians, they whatever. Shout out to all the Christians watching this video. But I'm looking for more of an esoteric explanation and breakdown of not only Saturnalia, but I just always hear Saturn come up. Saturn just always comes up out of all the planets. Whatever you're talking about, Saturn just always happens to come up in some type of conversation. Very important planet. And I was looking into even some Plato's ancient writings. I think it was Timaeus, where he referred to Saturn as the sun, Dios. So I forget the exact Greek terminology, but so many ancient terminologies of Saturn being the sun. You got the whole Thunderbolts movement where they say Saturn was the ancient. So I mean, it's a lot of information. You could get caught up in a rabbit hole. But let me read this for y'all, family, real quick. Let me read this. This is what the AI summary, AI overview of what Saturnalian is. We're in the Christmas season. Yesterday was Christmas. Happy holy days to all of y'all. Let me just read this. Saturnalia was a popular ancient Roman festival honoring the god Saturn, held in mid-December, that shares surprising similarities with modern Christmas, featuring feasting, gift giving, merrymaking, inverted social norms, and decorating homes with greenery, all influencing Christian traditions like gift exchanges, feasting, and feasts, festive atmosphere that merge with winter solstice celebrations to form Christmas. While not directly a solstice event, its timing near the winter solstice and popular customs provided a template for early Christians, though some scholars debate the direct link, pointing to other pagan influences like Mithric traditions or Jewish calculations for December 25th. Something to remember, Blue, as we get started. They say
Huh?
Saturnalian occurred in December between December 17th and the 23rd,
23rd. Yeah.
right around the winter solstice, and it was a time of agricultural renewal. Um, and we're ended there as far as the AI overview. But I told you there's not much of an esoteric breakdown. That's the AI overview. Let's have a great conversation, Blue. Talk to me about Saturnalia and this time of the year.
Again, as the AI overview expertly pointed out, it's a Roman festival in antiquity that would take place between December 17th and December 23rd. And what that particular time period was honoring and recognizing is they were saying that the gates were open. You know what I'm saying? The portals were open and the gates were open, going back to like, during November when they say that the veil is the thinnest. What is understood astrologically based on, once again, the cosmological mythos of what Scorpio and Sagittarius represent, right? Setting up Capricornus, or what we know as the month of Capricorn, is the killing of the king ritual. And the king in this instance is the sun, the king of kings, right? Not to be confused with the SON of Christian mythos and narrative that comes later on, but the SUN of antiquity, a mythological figure that is always being, the story that's always being told about a force that lights up our world. And in this case, in antiquity, that force has always been the physical sun, the
Right.
life bearer, the life giver,
Right.
the life sustainer. You know what I'm saying? And the mythos is tied around the cosmic wheel that is split on the cross into four seasons. And that is the quote unquote trajectory of the sun from its highest point to its lowest point. So those particular dates that you state are reflective of the lowest point, Saturnalia. Who are people that would get together and celebrate the death of the sun? Right? It would have to be a people who are conflicted and not necessarily the direct recipients of those lion's manes or sun rays, right? So we're telling a story in the mythos of a people from the north. Let's be clear, right? Saturnalia is not a global southern narrative or story per se. You feel me? So it's this is not a story that we're talking about that's taking place on the continent where there's equatorial sun that's always being received, even December 20, even during the December months. So in the global south, south of the equator, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, it's the beginning of summer now down there, right?
Mhm.
It's not winter for them. So we're telling the story of a people in the north who already have an acrimonious relationship with the sun or their father, right? Because of the nature of which their nature is. They live in the north. So they're celebrating the death of quote unquote the sun in December when the sun is at its weakest and its lowest point is technically or figuratively in the grave. And they are celebrating death, which is a regenerative process of rebirth. So coming from the north, the Norse people, so these would be like your Nordic mythos, the Odins and the Thors and what have you, coming from the Romans who
Mhm.
derive these narratives from the Greek, who of course derived their narratives from the Etruscans and so on and so forth. And then you have the Celtic or the Celtics. So think about this whole aspect of a Christmas tree and the pine tree being a tree that regenerates, or evergreen, an everlasting tree, something symbolically that represents the duration of life through the winter when everything else is going to die, because these people are living in climates that experience that.
Mhm.
We weren't necessarily exposed to that, right? I lived in St. Croix. It was 90 degrees on Christmas, man.
Mm.
and
Right.
that and that was one of the reasons that I wanted to come home. I wanted to come back to New York during Christmas to see my father and I experienced a winter, a snowy winter, and it was so nostalgic for regionally who I am based on where I was born and what I was first exposed to. I was like, nah, I can't do the I can't do the winters that's not winter.
Mm.
Because psychologically I'm not experiencing the initiation of what winter as a New Yorker had us go through, that process of how you get attuned to appreciate when the spring hit and then summer's coming, and you got a whole different appreciation for what, again, time cycles. Summer's gonna go like this,
Mm. Mm.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You gotta pack in as much excitement, you gotta pack in as much experience, you gotta pack in as many memories during the New York summer as possible. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just one of those things, but it's directly, that experience is directly tied into the initiation that our bodies go through during wintertime. When we also in the northeast, go through this ritualistic death ceremony when everything dies in the dead of winter. And normally it would literally be around this day. It's normally the day after the solstice. It gets brick, and
Mm.
and it starts scaling, and just the temperatures start going down and down and down and down. But God had different plans this year here in Atlanta on Christmas Day. Yes, sir.
It's like
You know,
71.
it's like in the 70s.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, we got it down. This is different down here. Once again, in the South, in the global South, we are experiencing we experience different extremes when it comes to what we look forward to in the winter or what we go through in the winter. So these people were in Rome, these people were in Europe, these people were in, the northern aspects of the globe, and they were going through um, these ceremonial rituals, but they had a different understanding, right? Again, because we hear everything from the modern parlance of where we're sitting from. So we hear death, and we got this morbid idea in our minds about what it meant, but the ancients dealt with that different. You know what I'm saying?
No,
They dealt with
definitely.
it different, especially in those societies. So they celebrated, you know what I'm saying? And it seemed that they had a very Gnostic understanding of the way things transferred and the way things were. You feel me? So they was a lot more receptive and open to things, you know. And it's funny that the things that they would consider or call to be pagan are the very things that have maintained the gnosis, that have maintained the understanding. You feel me? That have given people the opportunity to get a deeper, more fuller understanding about what these ceremonies, are constructed around.
Hmm. Hmm. No, definitely. Definitely. What do you think about when you think about Christmas in this time? It's often associated with Jesus, Blue. What's your thoughts on the connection, if there is one, between Jesus and Saturn? Is there some type of connection with Jesus and Saturn?
There's absolutely, you know, there's absolutely a connection between Jesus and Saturn. Again, Saturn is a motif for the father, the disciplinarian. Jesus is the son of the father. So you get a 2-for-1 special. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? On Christmas, then they throw in Santa, and you get the anagram of Satan.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So you get it, and then I mean, but it's Heru, it's a, it's Adonis, it's Mithra, it's everyone is on that date.
Mm. Mm.
Feel me? Because that date, throughout time, and again, we're speaking about time in terms of cycles. We're speaking about antiquity. People that were around thousands and 10,000 years before Jesus that had this overstanding, right? That we have to align our Savior's birth ceremony acknowledgement during this time specifically, because this signals the rebirth of the sun arising from its watery grave after being dead for 3 days after the winter solstice.
Right.
So Jesus later on, so many billion years. I mean, because the sun has been doing that for billions of years before people was around to record it or create, wonderful stories to explain it. Right? Jesus was mad late with aligning himself with that narrative to say that he died, got put in the tomb for 3 days, and was arisen. You know what I'm saying? On the third, that's what the sun has been doing without interruption forever. Right? And whoever's been around has been recording it and connecting their saviors to that particular time period. So this is the latest iteration that we're being exposed to, um, under the epoch of the Piscean age of what this particular deity is tied to, right? To tell this narrative, but to tell this mythos. And I guess every year, yes, we have these shows to remind people that it is a very elaborate cosmic mythos. It's one that has been told since the beginning of time. So we can get caught up in the rapture of it, but don't get lost in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Uh,
And
yeah,
and again, the whole aspect of it is to remember and appreciate what the son does for us, who the son is in terms of the father. I remember sharing my story over and over again about my experience in 2019, December 21st, moving to Atlanta. And I was on the highway and I got woke up by the sun and I got the download about the corona rising. Uh, you know, this whole aspect of what was preparing me for 2020, what happened in 2020.
mm-hmm. Pandemic.
So, right. And the download I had got that I've been repeating that I said, that was resonating in my consciousness, that appeared to be coming from the sun, like it was the father talking to his child, was like, yo, when you write something on your Instagram today, just write something that, like, do me one of them good birthday things and shit that you be doing, people, but don't shame people into acknowledging me. They should appreciate. I want to be appreciated for what I do. Like I'm not a deadbeat father. Like I don't miss no pickups. Like I'm always here. You know what I'm saying? But you really gonna miss me when I'm gone. You feel me? And that's what this time period is about. You know what I'm saying? Like daddy about to duck out for a moment in terms of the sun and what the sun represents as a father, as a consoling force, those sun rays, that warmth, you know, the restriction that winter represents is contraction time. People spend less, you know what I'm saying? People hoard more. You feel me? The whole aspect of what you eat and what's available to eat. All of these things are biologically dialed into us if we have experienced winter for what winter is. Once again, but if you live in the global south and during December and all of that stuff, you still got food to pick off the trees. Your consciousness is going to be totally framed different around this mythology.
Shit, there. Blue. I had it on mute. My fault, Blue. I got it on mute. I'm trying not to have the noise in my background while you're talking. Um, yeah, that people want to know, and this is one of the questions I had about Trump's move on Nigeria on Christmas, and what do you think that's symbolic of?
It's heavy, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons that I made sure that I adorn myself in all black to remind us that once again these conversations go back in antiquity before there was a Black Laws Dictionary or Webster Dictionary or all of these things saying that black mean blanche or
Right.
the different things that we know. Goddamn it, there was an understanding about a substance,
Mhm.
substantia nigra, right?
Yes, sir.
That resonates with matter in the universe and also soot.
Mm.
So December 21st acknowledges old Saint Nick or Saint Christos, right? Another name for Santa Claus was it was one of the words, but the words mean soot. You know what I mean? it means soot. And the reason that he has Swarth Pete with him, or the Moorish elf, is that also represented an aspect, an alchemical process of soot, right? So the whole thing is about alchemy, which is another Saturnian principle of turning base lead into gold, and the soot that comes from that process, that comes through the chimney or what have you. So Saturn, or I mean, Christmas is all about a Saturnian ritual. The Saturnian ritual is all about the black sun. The black sun is all about that 666 carbon molecule, right? Ain't nothing more carbon on this planet than Nigeria, right? Which is northern Nigeria, which is underneath Niger. So this is a play for them to position themselves on the continent to push up into where Ibrahim and them is at. You know what I'm saying? And those pockets of melanated consciousness that's a threat, obviously, to this particular reign of white supremacy that's canvassing the globe at this particular time. So this is the third African country that he's attacked. Why they don't explain it like that? Why we don't mention it like that? The first one was Yemen.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was Somalia.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And they got their hand in the Congo and a bunch of other places. So it was a very symbolic gesture for them to initiate that particular ritualistic conflict, on quote unquote Christmas in a part of the continent. And again, this is the continent. This is our Kibalan. A Kibalan is the quote unquote Garden of Eden, right? So we could go into this whole aspect of Nigeria is the original home of the Igbo and the lost tribes and Hebrews. All of that stuff come from West Africa to begin with. So this is actually the cradle. You know what I'm saying? All of the conflict zones that they are meddling in right now are the origin points of the most antiquated melanated people on the planet. Sudan, Congo,
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, Ethiopia, Eritrea, right? All of the points, Palestine or what have you, with them people, if they're claiming antiquity, right? They're cleaning the map with all of these people that are from antiquated times when when the primordial religions were reigning supreme. Remember, Saturn is primordial. It's first. Before Jupiter reigned, the first temples were built to Saturn. Because once again, we explained it here on the channel the first time. Even according to the Bible, if they want to go and read it, Genesis said that the face of the planet was dark first. So darkness precedes light down here. So who's the entities that rule darkness?
Yeah, they call
the peace, love, and light guys.
Yeah.
Right? They keep forgetting them, just like they forgot the woman, right? Just like they forgot the Typhonian,
Egyptians,
Cometians or what have you.
Yeah.
Chronos, the one, all of the pantheon of the horns, Hansu, Pan, right? All of this Saturnian energy that reigns supreme on this planet forever and a day, so far in antiquity to a point where Set was tied in with Saturn. It wasn't.
Come on,
was not. It before it was father time. It was mother time, and it go back so far that Set was the keeper of time, and they understood that the woman kept the cycle. She broke 28 down into 14.
Come on, Blue.
And that was her natural cycle. And that was what's understood. And Set was once a solar deity as well. That's why Osar is a lunar deity. He governs the whole agricultural aspect. So you can look at Saturn and see the connections with Osar, because Saturn also governs, right, all things dealing with farming and agriculture. The whole agrarian aspect of what this time period represents, right? That's why Saturn is God. That's why Saturn has the sickle, because the sickle is the harvester of the wheat, right? The wheat symbolically or motif-wise is Virgo. right?
There we go.
Again, getting into this whole aspect of the mythos of Persephone, because the puff thing is in the news right now, real heavy. That's a whole other aspect of Saturnian energy. In the mythos, Hades, which is Scorpio, right? Which has aspects of it in the Saturn, but Hades snatches Persephone and takes her into the underworld. You know what I'm saying? And she's down there and he's doing whatever with her until spring comes. Persephone represents Virgo, and Virgo represents the spring, or you know, she represents the harvest. I mean, the wheat, the fertile soil, and you know what I'm saying? All things replenishable or what have you. And those are the things that are taken into the underworld during winter months.
Right.
I mean, and then her mother comes and gets her during the spring, and that represents symbolically this whole aspect of regeneration and rebirth. But there is a strong aspect of, once again, this correlation of Saturnian energy also that replicates or identifies with Scorpion, not only in death, but also in sex.
Mm-hmm.
Because Saturn is recognized, once again, as synonymous with death, as Scorpio is, as Pluto is, right? But it's represented by the number 6, and 6 is sex. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're looking at, and there's an aspect of, if I don't, yeah, I can say work, I can say acknowledgement, but it's really worship, right? Because the people in ancient, they, or the ones that have a whole fraternity or different situations that are tied into Saturn and tied into the energy of it, is because they understand that if it's representing something that's sentient and conscious, if it's something that's dealing with 6 energy, then it's something that's creating energy. It's something that's living. It's something that's sentient.
Mm-hmm.
If it's and if it's something that's so enormous, right? And think about it, something that's so beautiful and unique, it's almost mesmerizing. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah. Yeah. It got, you know, oh man, it's
Ignore it,
yeah. You can't.
right? While people fantasize about these concepts of what God is or entails, you know what I mean? You got this beautiful gas giant that, once again, has to represent aspects of consciousness, because the telescopes and all of that stuff, they just confirmed that there was the hexagram at the North Pole of Saturn, but this has always been known in antiquity. Again, going back to the ancients, right? Has always been part of the motif, is them for them to adorn it with a hex alpha, which today they call the Star of David.
Right.
Once again, but in antiquity, as evidence shows, yo, this has been here hundreds of thousands of millions of years before that, because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
evidence shows, right?
Hey,
Before them people been around, that
yes, sir.
symbol been,
The
and
small
it's
hats.
directly tied to a yeah, it's tied to a monster planet. You feel me? Then
Mm,
once again, it's very hard to ignore if anybody is about, you know, cosmic exploration.
mm,
I don't
mhm,
know what they was looking at this stuff through, but
mm, mm. You talked about the 6 point star. They, you know, as you said, that's associated with Saturn, and it's mislabeled in modern times as the Star of David, but it's
mm-hmm.
been around for so long. When we get certain terms that we use, Blue, like I'm gonna put a hex on you.
uh,
How does that arise from the hexagram and the 6 point? How does putting a hex on somebody come from the hexagram, my brother?
right, because they said that once again in ancient times, the priesthood, they would draw a circle,
Oh,
and inside of the circle they would inscribe a triangle, and then a triangle on the opposite end,
right,
polarization, and in the middle they would stand in the middle of that particular contraption, which creates a hexagram.
right.
And in the middle of the hex, so you're casting now right? So that's say we're putting a hex on you because once again, them standing in them standing in the particular hexagram that's
Right.
formed by the formation of of these forms,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? They're now tapping into form, which operates on a frequency of 6 or on a frequency of the cube. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I be like, yo, like you don't if you learn how to program the cube, then you know what I'm saying? You don't have to focus on what's going on in between the poles, just magnetize the poles and
Right.
everything else falls in place. It's the same thing with the cube. You know what I mean? Just focus on the cube and the contents is gonna organize and structure themselves.
Hey, Blue, do you've been into this metaphysical community for quite some time. You actually even introduced Phil Valentine, from what I know, to Black Dot and Shabazz. Is that correct?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, I thought you. All right, but you don't have to explain. I just thought that was part of the history. But the community, a lot of people in the community as well as online,
Mhm,
just a general, you could see vibe with Saturn is that it scares the shit out of people. I
mhm.
mean, it scares the shit, conscious, not conscious, whatever. I mean, it just scares the shit out of everybody. Not everybody, but a lot of people. I want to know, do you do work personally with Saturn, and why do you think so many people are afraid to even do work or even mention Saturn and certain occult practices that they may do?
Again, because time of antiquity, meaning since time before time, that particular planet has always been associated with whatever people would term quote unquote evil. You know what I mean? Whatever concept we have come up with antiquity. I mean, whatever concept we have come up in antiquity to denote something that's not necessarily good or something that we can't control or something that's non-comforting or non-conforming, we stigmatize it and we call it what we call it. So Saturn is no different. It's synonymous with Satan. It was the first Satan, or what have you. So people are, what I want to say, uh, 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 what's that word? Shit. I'm trying to think of this term, but it's genetic. Oh, they epigenetically programmed to be fearful of things that they don't understand. Right? Saturn is one of those things. Um, you either it's like you either gonna accept it or you're probably for whatever reason be intimidated by it, especially if you are within this realms. Um, but the occult would definitely, you know, that lesson and that tutelage of having appreciation for time. You can't get the things done that you're looking to do without having an appreciation for time and an aspect of patience. So you learn to work with Saturn. You know what I mean? And Saturn is the teacher. And if you can derive the lessons that Saturn is teaching, right, then you on top. Then there's no, you know what I mean? If you could subside if you could resist the resistance, then how can you be stopped? Right? What can possibly hold you back? You have to go through the initiation. It's the thing that the euphemism that they like speaking about in terms of time creating the aspect of pressure that you either gonna bust or formulate into a diamond. That's what Saturn does.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you're not going to be an effective worker of any craft work if you don't have patience, if you don't have that discipline for time and cycles. But if you have that, then I don't see why it would be intimidating for you to deal with Saturnian aspects, especially the ones that show up in your life. So, what's your relationship with your father? That tells you a lot about your Saturn placement in your chart, because your father's a disciplinarian, and our quote unquote relationship with structure and authority All of that is dealing with Saturnian principles. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Yeah, yeah. This is a good conversation, Bloom, and I'm glad I got you to do do this particular show, my brother. This is a
Oh,
great
thank you.
conversation to have. All right, so I want to show something real quick. I asked Chat GPT, Blue. I asked Chat. I said, "What?" Okay, I asked why. Let me pull it up.
Yeah,
Get Blue.
and the whole aspect of, once again, I got this color on,
Yeah.
and our people, for whatever reason, we've been programmed to be scared of the dark, and
Mm-hmm.
we also have a weird relationship with the concept or the color of black, or
Mm,
what it entails, right? Even when it comes to blacking out, you know what I mean? Like,
mm,
there's certain things that we just don't embrace, even though they're necessary key components and elements. So when you see a person that is adorning the robe, that is understanding what the cosmic element of standing on business, death, transformation, and like, if I say that I'm gonna see you type energy,
mm-hmm.
that's what Saturn represents. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Think about them people over there.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Mm-hmm.
they're showing their hand and they're playing a game that some people can't stomach. It's very unsettling to them,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they're dabbling all in the darkest of dark sides to say, "Oh, I'm willing to take it there." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and it's that one person you like, "Yo, son, just I don't think you, man, just leave them alone." You feel me? Because they're kind of cuckoo. They're gonna go there. And if you can't go there with them, I don't know how you could compete. So it's like, how can we be synonymous with darkness, and then when it's time to get dark for the benefits of sustaining our light, we don't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Indeed.
almost like, what if you live on a planet where it's like, well, he who goes the darkest is he who wins. You know what I'm saying? You got to go back to the primordial where it began.
Yeah, Blue. I want the I got this on the screen. So I'm a number 8. Just like your late me and your actually family, me and Blue Pill's lady was born on the same day. Not the same year, but the same date, September 17th.
Now,
So yeah, yeah. So you're familiar with that 8 energy.
yes.
I was always told by numerologists and astrologers, even people who study cardiology, Aquarius Maximus, when they see
Mhm.
I'm a number 8, they always say, "Yo, your number's ruled by Saturn." They always told me about Saturn, and they
Yes.
say, "Yo, Saturn is gonna give you your rewards as well as your lessons." So I was always, before then I was curious about Saturn, but I was always curious about, damn, well, why? What is it about the number 8 and Saturn? So I asked ChatGPT. This is what Chat said. The association of number 8 with Saturn comes from several overlapping traditions: astronomy, numerology, astrology, sacred geometry, and esoteric symbolism. I'll lay them out. Okay. One of the oldest and stronger reasons is Saturn's motion in the sky. Saturn takes 29.5 years to orbit the sun. From Earth's perspective, its retrograde motion traces a figure 8
Mm.
like infinity loop over time.
Mhm.
Ancient sky watchers associated this looping pattern with cycles, repetition, karma, and time. Saturn became the lord of cycles, and the 8 visually encoded that idea. So I was like, wow, that is if this is true,
Yes.
that's pretty fascinating. How
That's
from Earth's perspective, it traces a number 8, figure 8 over
okay.
time. Wanted to ask you what you thought about that, and do you think, like, if you're number 3 or number 4, do you think other planets trace
Most,
numbers over time, like Saturn traces the 8, and that's where historically we come up with the science. You know what I mean? Because that's interesting.
yeah, yeah, Saturn. No, I mean,
Yeah.
they show time lapse videos
Mhm.
of how particular Venus has a beautiful pattern. A lot of them got amazing patterns,
Right. Right.
but for Saturn to be synonymous with 8 and for it to make a figure 8, I think that's a class of its own. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it just speaks to the beauty of that particular body and the grand architect of this universe, how they will put planets in motion because there's a great conjunction every 20 years between Saturn and Jupiter. I was able to experience it on the solstice of 2020 on Stone Mountain of all places. And it was so beautiful, again, as a stargazer, knowing that I'm doing something that our ancestors have done for thousands of years, if not millions. And I'm standing there and you watching these two planets cross over one another, and almost like swallow one another up. You know what I mean? It looked amazing. So I'm like, who did that math? Like, who put that there on some shit? You know what I mean? Like, it's connecting like a ping pong machine. Like, that's some amazing, aerodynamics and cosmic trajectory for them things to move like that. But yeah, for it to be making a figure eight, and eight once again is a number synonymous with rigidness, but not to a degree. You know what I mean? Like conformity and rigidness. It's two squares. You know what I'm saying? So that's very much synonymous with this whole aspect of what Saturn represents as the father disciplinarian. You gotta have patience. You gotta have discipline. You gotta have structure. There gotta be order there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta follow it step by step. You can't skip a step. You know, because the changes are gonna come with duration through time, through cycles. It's
Right.
cumulative. It's not overnight, and it may be. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have a dedication to regimen and discipline, right? That's what Saturn is as well. So yeah, man.
And Blue, when you talk about the father disciplinarian, I think it's dope, Blue, that the goat is associated with Saturn, the animal, the goat, the animal, the goat, and black language, Ebonics, we call people who's the greatest of all time the goat. What makes a GOAT? Ultimately, they have incredible discipline. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Beyonce, Michael Jackson,
Right.
Mike Tyson. Do what you do like you don't like. Do what you do. Do what you hate to do. It act like incredible discipline, self-discipline. So it seems to be like Saturn, the energy behind this planet, makes the greatest human beings on Earth. The goats.
Right? Think about it. You hit
The
it on the head.
goats.
Let's go right there.
Come on, Blue. Talk to me.
Michael Jackson's relationship with his what was the reason that he is acknowledged for being the greatest.
His dad.
Right? His
Oh.
father, as a disciplinarian, he was strict. And he was about Michael catching his cues down to timing. You feel me? So yeah, that's an amazing observation. Michael Jordan and his what was the thing that changed his life. And he lost exactly.
Even Blue. Even Mike Tyson, Customato.
Kobe Bryant was a continuation of his
Jelly Bean.
Right? So these
wow.
after you hit it on the head. So
damn,
this is what makes the goats.
Yo, you know what? Oh shit, you right, Blue. That's a good point. You know what, Blue? Let me just tell you something in my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
I went personally. I felt like I had a lot of things going for me when I was young, and I felt like I was missing something, and I never had that father element. And when I got around my uncle, I was around him every day for like 3 years. Every 3 years he was just in New York, and I was from like 20 to 23. And I remember telling my mother one day, I remember telling her, "Yo, I got it. And I just remember being around that energy, that bad, because he was big on discipline. I remember he would get me up at a certain time every day. He would I really got disciplined being around my uncle. Right. You know what I'm saying? And my mother did the best she could do, greatest mother in the world. But until I had the man in my life, the discipline factor, I took off, Blue. And that's when I started with the DVDs and all that from the discipline that I got from him.
Yeah, because I'm like, somebody have to teach you discipline.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Standing on that block.
Nah, that's my uncle. Hands down.
To have discipline. Be in the corner, on them 20-degree days or them
Gotcha.
daily days.
Wow, wow, it's amazing.
Right? Think about that. Think about the lessons that was learned, baked in those situations in the cold
Right.
as a New Yorker. This is different when you grinding in 20 and 30-degree weather for something, right? Oh yeah, Beyonce and her father. So the
You know,
right,
it keeps going.
right, the Virgos, the ones that they like, yo, they perfectionists in terms of, oh, you put discipline with that, they're gonna perfect their routine. Beyonce and her father.
Blue, what sign was Mike Tyson?
Tyson is a Cancer.
It's Cancer. Okay.
Yeah.
I never seen anybody like that in my time, Blue. That's a different individual. I was watching some of his old interviews. Yeah.
Like
Yo,
this,
Blue. Yo, Blue. This nigga Mike, he said the gayest shit, and because he's Mike, it didn't sound gay. It just sounds scary. He told the white dude, "I'm gonna fuck you until you love me."
is Island.
Yo, did you see? You heard that one, right?
Yeah.
Yo, I was like, yo, what,
Remember, I was working for him.
bro? This
The
dude
coke
was.
was good, man.
Oh my god, yeah, that's a gladiator right there. That is a gladiator right there.
Yeah,
But yeah,
like
Blue. Let me ask you this. So, what's your thoughts on the We're talking about Saturn, Christmas, and all of this stuff. What's your thoughts on Baphomet, Blue? Is this something? Do you think? I know you don't think it's evil, but what's your thoughts on the symbol within itself? Is this a white Aleister Crowley creation that you know
again, you
we
know,
alone? What's your thoughts on it?
again, like my ability as of lately, especially through religion, to really study the Western mind. I know that they don't see the world the way that we see it. You know what I'm saying? I know that they don't learn the way that we do. So their symbolism got to be totally different because their psychology is totally different. You know what I'm saying? Once again, the people who experience winter, people who are cut off from the sun, you know what I mean? People who are naturally recessive and hormonal and balanced, like the way that they perceive even, sexuality is totally different. So to have a hermaphrodite, and that's not gonna throw them off. It's part of their mythos to a degree. And it's very, you can find it in our mythos in terms of on the continent as well. But yeah, I look at Baphomet and Eliphas Levi and the rest of them. I just think that they was tapping into Western psychology, and their symbolism is just going to look totally different to speak to a mind that's recessive. Remember, the eyes are attached to the brain, right? What are they able to incorporate in terms of someone teaching them something about themselves that at they, you can't teach them about themselves and not introduce them to the monster, you know. But again, we got to step back and say, well, is that a benefit to them in this day and age that they actually get introduced and know their monster, and ours is still a mystery to us? Because we obviously we not comfortable with the monster version of ourselves looking back in the mirror. That's what this Diddy thing is showing me. You know what I'm saying? Once
Right.
again, because we are a society and a culture that on the surface we like, yo, we got a space in our culture for pimping. We we got a whole thing for it. We went through a whole era, right? Whether we emerged, some people unscathed or not, it was entertained. You feel me? We partied to it. And
Right.
it's like, oh, you can't, what you think it looked like? What you think it's hitting for?
Right. No, definitely.
It ain't got nothing to like, Diddy can't shake a stick to that.
Hmm.
So it's like, I don't know how comfortable we are, you know what I'm saying, with the darker aspects of ourselves in these winter months.
Right. Right. Right.
Feel me? Um, and I'm just telling you, like,
Right.
the European is a little bit, he's a prisoner, but he's a little bit more free than the average. if you understand the analogy with that.
I would love for you to explain it a little further, my brother, because I have an opinion and I want
Right.
to know. Yeah.
Okay. He don't have the cosmic spacesuit that we got,
Right.
right?
Check. Check.
There's aspects to his reality that are very limited. And that's
Check.
another thing that um, Saturn represents. You know what I'm saying? It represents limits, because as the keeper of time, time is telling you that time is limited in this physical body, right? You're not immortalized in the flesh, right? No one has figured that part out yet. So it's like you're gonna come and you're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? This shit is the dash. You're experiencing the dash. It's gonna be cut up into cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Born, live, checked out, up out of here. You know what I'm saying? And if you left something behind, then it continues that particular timeline. If not, you just left behind memories and memorabilia, right? So we're looking at that aspect of time because, as well, Saturn as a god said that he was exclusively for the Latin people. And when he meant Latin people, he didn't mean the Latinos. We're speaking about like the Romans, the people that speak Latin that come from them regions.
Mm-hmm.
So this European, although limited, and although people have all of these accusations in terms of his origins, right? For him to be from the regions and the climates that he's in,
Mm-hmm.
he's very free. Like he's a savage wild man. Like that nigga be streaking, he don't care who around. You
Mm.
feel me?
Mm.
Um, I just was thinking about early in the gym just how uncouth they've been like, yeah, like the locker rooms is not, these niggas is just different. Like they don't have mechanisms in their brain.
The European in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, it's a disgusting sight. It's a
So
disgusting thing, bro.
they
It's
don't have no inhibitions about
uh,
like their level of free willingness.
bro. I remember being like 19 and what was it? I don't even know if it's open anymore. New York Sports Club, and you
Oh
in the
man.
locker room, and it's a you see a white dude in the locker room, butt ass naked. That nigga just it's like bro, what are you doing?
Like
Like they're just like
and
it's different.
you got dignity, you got a towel on,
No, they different.
right? You taking your shit over there on the court. You could put your, you know what I mean? Like there's just certain ways that you go about doing your things, and they don't have no inhibitions when it comes to
Oh,
that.
at all, at all.
You know what I'm saying? So again, that's tied into a psychology though. Think about that. There is very it's like you're just gonna disturb my peace, you're gonna disrupt my space. You know what I mean? You just nobody else, you're not reading the room, you're not doing none of that. So yeah, that's the dichotomy. You know what I'm saying?
I want to somebody had left a comment earlier. Well, there's two comments I want to get to. Real quick, I just I seen a sister. I just you don't have to say nothing. I just want to say something about this blue. I seen a sister wrote, "Woman can discipline structure lessons as well. We're all human." Yeah, and I agree 1,000%. I don't want y'all to think like I said repeatedly on this broad on the show. My mother's one of the greatest mothers that ever existed in my mind, and if I had to come down to this realm, I would choose her every time. Absolutely incredible person. I had the greatest mom in the world, but there's no way on God's green earth a woman can provide discipline the way a man could provide discipline, and I think that's a hard pill for us to swallow, especially when we're single parents or especially when we didn't have certain things that a person may be talking about and may be kind of triggering. And there's one thing I said on one show in particular. I said there's nothing like a woman's love. Like if a woman was to tell me either my mother or my girl, if she tells me, baby, you could do it. My father telling me that can't equal that. There's nothing like a woman telling you the motivation, the
Okay.
love, the
Yeah.
motivational love that comes from a woman. There's nothing on earth like that that comes from a woman. So I think there's things that's gender specific that we provide specifically to our offspring that reaches them at maximum level. And I always said a mother's love or your woman's love, if you got a woman that loves you and she tells you the best, you believe that shit. You believe whatever that woman tells you, you believe it. And when your father disciplines you, oh yeah, that hit hard too. So I just want to, that's just my opinion on that. But yeah, I don't want to offend this.
No, let me add on to that, because
Okay, yes,
you said something that was key.
yes,
And I
sir.
explain this to people. Your only opportunity to ever see yourself, right? Because you could look at you in the mirror, you've never seen you, right? Any opportunity to see you is only a reflection of you, and it's the opposite version. You understand? You can only technically see you through the eyes of a woman who loves you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's the only way that you can see
Hallelujah.
yourself. And then she can literally duplicate that and give you a version of yourself in terms of a child. So I don't, there's no either or in this particular process. They both work in tandem. Women work amazing with structure as well. This whole aspect of Capricorn being the disciplinarian, Capricorn also means structure, but also means government. And if you would notice, until this year, the United States government was exclusively, for the most part, run by melanated women. You know what I'm saying? Because they bring that structure. If you set the criteria and the rules, they're gonna run the play. You know what I mean? But it works in tandem. And there's a difference when it comes to the rearing of a child. Like you said, we can only speak from personal experience, and if someone else is expressing what it is that they know, I could tell you with me and my upbringing, it was more like I did things that I wasn't supposed to do, and then when I saw how it affected my mother, I felt bad. Right? I did things that I wasn't supposed to do. When I knew that my father found out about it, I felt worried. There's a difference.
Oh, felt bad and felt worried. Oh,
Right? There's a difference.
Yes. I get it. I get it.
Damn, I'm upset that I did this to you.
Damn.
Whereas, like, I'm gonna have to deal with this, and I know that I violated, and I have to pay the penalty of it with the disciplinarian. You feel me? Who's gonna put the wages on me like Saturn? Who's gonna put time on my clock? Unlike mama, she's just gonna discipline me, right? But to the degree that I can take that, this is about to get physical. It's a little different, you know what I'm saying? And then it's the disappointment that comes with the rearing process of you still a student of the teacher, Saturn, right? And my father happens to be a teacher in real life. So I kind of experienced, and he got the all white afro. He Chronos in my household. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I experienced this in my upbringing, and I think that, and I tell the story all the time, there's certain things that I just avoided doing because of the fear that my father instilled in me, and me not wanting to let him down. You know what I mean? He didn't have to say them twice. You feel me? My mother would not have that same ability in terms of programming me to be so focused. So yeah, it works both ways, y'all.
Indeed. No, definitely, indeed. Blue, I want to ask you about, we talked about the hexagram and the 6-pointed star, and that being confused with the star David. Let's talk a little bit, Blue, and in Saturn, you said what you said, the North Pole of Saturn has a hexagram on it.
Yes.
All right, so the hexagram is associated in the metaphysical spiritual community with their Merkaba, or the chariot, or the vehicle we use to navigate this realm and go to other dimensions.
Yes.
So let's have a conversation about what's your thoughts about the 6-point star and how we could use it in its metaphysical way as a chariot.
Yes. And again, the ancients understood these deeper principles, that when they were looking at the hexagram, they were looking at a 2/3-dimensional object because it's the Metatron's cube. And when you look at the Metatron's cube, you see that it's actually, there's an aspect of dimensionality to it because it's a cube. but it's a cube that's actual that has those particular dimensions. So you have to master this whole aspect of traveling within this cube to transcend to wherever it is that you intend to go. You know, set your intentions and utilize that particular macabre like a vehicle to take you to the places that you need to go. You could get there in your mind. You know what I mean? Um, the actual, you know, the thing is not necessarily about encasing your physical form in a hexagonal entrapment and making physical journeys and trips certain places. Is really about activating it internally through that imagination, utilizing symbols as, you know, as a aid, as, you know, as a director, as a conductor about where to conduit and move the energy to specifically. So Merkaba magic is very deep, is very detailed. You know what I mean? And and yeah, that's definitely part of what, you know, people that deal with Saturnian worship get into on different levels and different dimensions. Once they get past, you know what I mean, people being transfixed by symbols, it definitely is dealing with a psychotechnology, right? These particular symbols represent, like I said, a deeper, quote unquote, deeper
Hey,
symbols. Yeah.
Blue, a personal question I want to ask you. I seen this comment. Saturn was the sun when we were on Mars. I want to, and I would love for you to elaborate on that if you want to. But I want to ask you, Blue, personal question. Do you have, when you're into this information, Blue, there's this thing where when you study certain subjects, it may resonate with you more, or some people may get flashbacks, so some people may it just may stay with them. It just may like, damn, well, what about this? Or what about, well, why this group or why this coach? And you just end up getting stuck on something and you wonder why. And that can be like a past life remembrance where you're still tapped into that morphogenetic field, or I don't know if that's the right word,
Mhm.
or that energetic blueprint of what happened during that timeline. I want to ask you, what you studied so much, Blue. Is there, what out of everything you study, you're very well versed, what sticks out to you like I might have existed around that time? Like I'm gonna tell you what thing for me that stands out. I don't think I was around during the whole slavery more. None of that resonates with me. None of it.
I
None
don't
of
have
it.
reflections of that.
None of it. I think I might have been around during Roman times. I think that might have been my last incarnation. I think that weird shit. I'm talking this weird. I'm talking weird to you now, Blue. So
Right.
this is a weird conversation, but I think I'm gonna just name the top three for me, Blue.
Okay.
Roman times, like Atlantis, Lemuria times,
Mhm.
and Mars. When I
Mm.
was young, I tell people all the time I had these dreams, like a reoccurring dream of these massive wars taking place in outer space. And I always heard about this war that took place on Mars that just decimated the planet. And
Right.
when I hear things about Mars, I think about that because the dreams I had it was massive wars, Blue. Like I'm talking about weapons like a motherfucker. So I would
I,
say Mars, Rome, Atlantis, Lemuria times.
I want to say that I definitely had the same dreams. When
Indeed.
I was younger, there was a war in the heavens, and yeah, they had. And then I used to be like, was it my dreams or was it the cartoons that I was looking at? Because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
always aim to overlap. I'd be like,
Mm.
that the joint that I seen in my dream or the dream that I seen in my joint. But yeah, but I had an active imagination. But I know that I used to dream, like you said, and I would look down and I would see sandals. So I had sandals, and I was like in the time of the desert. I was walking through deserts with the sandals. You know what I'm saying? It might have been sands with the pyramids or what have you. Um, but I don't have the deepest recollections of like being inside any temples and monuments. I was just crossing the sands,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also have a deep recollection of a time long gone, right? When I would again, I would probably say it was somewhere like in America, somewhere like in the South Americas, maybe the Yucatan or something.
Right.
I was moving through the jungles and
Yeah.
what have you, and swinging, like, like all of that. And again, I don't know if it was something that was impressed upon me that I ran into in my childhood and it just colored my dreams that way. But I don't think it's a coincidence. You feel me? Um, but I remember like going to movies and I'd be like, damn, that look mad. Like, yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
been there before, seen that before. Yeah, man.
No, yeah.
Like when I saw Avatar, right?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I've been there before. I seen that.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was like,
That's Lemuria, I think. The blue
yeah,
people. That's Lemuria, I think. The Avatar.
yeah. They definitely taking aspects of Lemuria, you know, out of that, and mixing that in. So I think that was relative to a lot of people around the planet. It was like, like I tap it into something that's this cosmically relative to us.
No, indeed, indeed.
I want to go see the latest one. Like I've
Oh yeah, it just came out. Right, 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 right.
going to see them joints.
Yeah, I wanna see that as well. Family, give me some questions. Let me black light royalty. Come on real quick. Come on the live real quick, my brother. I want to you know this brother because he was at your video shoot. Yeah, blue black light royalty. If you can, I don't know if you might be in the bed chilling with your lady or whatever, but if you got time, come up real quick. I want to get it. I'm gonna do a show with you at the top of it, but I want to get a quick. This brother does channeling. He like
Yeah, yeah, we had them on. Remember?
the last show. Damn, you see,
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't even realize it, but you see how your energy, like there's something about your energy and this brother. Every time you on, I tell the brother, I didn't even realize that. But yo, Blue, while this brother, and give me some questions in the chat also. Let me tell you what's interesting, Blue. You heard of automatic writing, right?
yeah.
So
Right.
while you were talking, I just happened to draw this, and then I noticed this right here. I noticed it had eight. It had eight whatever order. Eight. What do you
Right.
call that?
Points.
8 points. Yeah, I'm sorry. 8 points. My words, I be getting lost for words sometimes. But I just realized that at 8 points. I was like, damn, that's
But
interesting. I
but
drew that, and it's sad. And we talking about, what I'm
but
saying?
the figure right above it that you drew
Oh, damn.
at the 8 in the eyes as well.
Oh, wow. I didn't even peep that.
Infinity
Oh, I
sign.
did not peep that right here. Yeah, I did not peep that. I did not peep that. Wow, I did not peep that at all. That's interesting. Yeah, man, this thing, man, Blue. Listen, Blue, I'm gonna tell you, Blue. Listen, let me tell you this, Blue. You know when I get hyped. Let me tell you this. I got to back up my chair. I'm so excited, Blue. It's gonna be big next year, and I'm so excited for you to be a part of this, and everybody else who's be a part of this. But when I start this Carbon Code Collective,
Mhm.
this online community outside of the noise of social media. You know what we was talking about the other day, Blue? We was talking about the Morse code. And I asked, I forgot who, King and King Simon Lloyd Straight. I was like, do y'all know Morse code? Because we was talking about numerology. And I know Morse code is a certain form of communication. But
It is right.
with this Carbon Code Collective, Blue, it's gonna be like nothing. Like we've never seen anything like this ever, ever in the underground metaphysical black community.
Right.
And I'm getting such strong downloads, Blue, that I'm taking my time because I know when it's up, it's up. Well, you know, like somebody when it's up, it's stuck. Like when it's up
Right.
and it's going, there's no stopping it, Blue. And I can't slow down. And I told the family, I said, I got to tap into my masculine energy more next year, because if I say I'm going to get up 5 in the morning, I got to get up 5 in the morning. I can't sleep a little later because my daughter's there. I got to go and I got to get up at 5 in the morning to do what I got to do. So I know when it's time for me to activate on that, I know I'm not going to stop. So, but I just want to remind you, and I want to remind everybody, Blue, this Carbon Code Collective, it's called, oh my God, Blue.
Can you explain it to us?
Blue. It's well, we're getting into radionics. We're getting into our ancient Atlantean Lemurian technology, where the world is going. Let's say the world is going left with artificial intelligence.
Yes.
We're gonna go right with our ancient Atlantean Lemurian technology. So I've been doing thorough studying, Blue. So let me just give you a list of books that I'm looking through. Psychotronic Magic, Radionic Science of Magic. These are books. I'm looking at EQing as a producer, because as a human being, we EQ frequencies of God, of the all that is, to create an image that we see. We have to, because otherwise it would be noise, white noise, and it would be everything. We would be schizophrenic. It would be too chaotic. So we got to EQ noise out so we can produce a picture. So EQing is very important. I'm just showing you some things that I'm going through. These are things that we're going to be studying, radionics and the sub. You know, a lot of the Carbon Code Collective, we're really getting into, for the most part, the subtle energy field. And me, you did a video on that with Walter Russell, and the subtle, like, we're way more than just the physical body. So our energetic body, we got to learn to tap into that. But we're not, you know, this is what I discovered, Blue, and this is why it's important to do this, right? Say I give an exercise to do. Everybody will do it if I say we're going to do it as a collective together. But if I tell everybody to do it individually, 10% of the people will do it. So community kind of inspires everybody, is going to inspire people to tap into their godhood. But it can't be the YouTube community because there's too much noise on there. We got to create a community without the noise. And with the community, we're all going to lift each other up. We're going to be high. Blue, listen, I wish I had more, but Blue, listen, this community, this online community is not going to be nothing like it in the world, Blue. So I'm just so happy, and I can't wait to tell you about it.
It's needed.
C. Dick said 2026 is ruled by Mars. Is it?
Ooh.
Is it? Wow, that's deep if it is. What I've been saying, that's deep if it is. Let me get to this question, because Black Light did not come on. I don't know if he's seen it or if he's ready, but let's start getting to these questions from my brother Blue. Absolutely magnificent show, conversation, discussion with my brother Blue Pillar. Let's get to some Q&A. We're going to keep this thing going. All right? Somebody said, nah, I still do water challenge. LOL, that should be every day. Indeed. You know what? I haven't done it in about a week. And this is why we need community, outside of social media, is because if I had that community, another word for community, Blue, and you're in the gym. Another way to describe a community is accountability partners. And in the gym, if you by yourself, you lift. Check this out. This is good. You by yourself, you lift you do 5 sets. You're like, oh, I did great. You got an accountability partner. All of a sudden, you do 20 sets, and you're like, I never knew I could do that.
That's right.
It was the accountability partner that made you do it, but you thought you was the man when you just did 5 sets. That's how it's going to be with this community. We think we doing our thing with what we doing now. Nah, we going to a whole new level, Blue. Whole new level.
Because I like to say, and I learned this in the gym, the concept that support is a steroid.
Yes.
So
good way to put it.
Yeah, just me knowing that there's someone there just in case help is needed gives me more energy and more ability to do for self, you know what I'm saying, and do it at a grander scale. And then again, this whole aspect of reflection, mirror neurons, right? You can't see yourself all the time, so you think that you're doing 5 and I'm there. But someone else can see something that you can't necessarily see and reflect it back to you for you to see it, you to embrace it, and do then for you to go, you know what I'm saying, to go for it. You're like, yeah, son, you got 21 in you. Oh, for real? And
Facts.
there's no turning back. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
And yeah, people are able to do that for one another, right? Bouncing encouragement off of one another. We are truly social creatures. We are meant to be, with one another in collective and community. You know what I mean? We're not necessarily meant to be isolated individuals. So yeah, it's gonna be a community style year. That one and that O, that 10, that collective. And yeah, it couldn't have been a better time. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Shout out to everybody that's participating in Kwanzaa today.
Indeed, indeed. All right, let's get to some questions from my brother Blue Pill. So I said those radionics books up. Yeah, they becoming scarce. Yeah, family. But don't worry, we got y'all. We got y'all. We got y'all. All right. Question: is the combined energies of Saturn, winter solstice, and 3-eye Atlas having a reverse aging effect on melanin-rich folks in their 50s plus? All right.
As Brother Rich is speaking about, actively engaging in experiments next year and getting into radionics sounds like measurements, right? And there's going to be a lot of science that we're going to be dealing with as a community. So I think that in us having this conversation right here today about Saturn and time cycles going forward, I think we're also going to be very much in our scientific bag in 2026 to show and prove whether these things are taking place or not. I have an app called Fit Index, and I'm able to gauge myself daily on the scale to see if my metabolic age is changing. The last I checked, I was 40. So I'm able to see whether things are changing or not. I feel like they are. I feel that we are the recipients of some amazing cosmic energy. I'm looking at the Schumann resonance charts, but I'm also in the streets listening to people, and I'm online reading a lot of what people are saying, and a lot of people are experiencing transformation. Um, and I know that again, melanin rich people are going to be the ones that are going to be the benefactors, the recipients of this radiation, this radionic information that's coming from the universe, especially if you are active, if you're moving this energy, if you are ready and prepared, if you know what I'm saying, and like if you're fully embracing these energy downloads, I think that they're going to work amazing with you. You feel me? Uh,
Indeed.
so yeah.
All right, all right. We got the brother Black Light,
Okay, the God.
and
Yeah,
where's the guy? So Black Light, you there, my brother?
there you
Peace,
go.
peace to the God. Peace, peace. Y'all can hear me good?
Yes, indeed.
It's a little static. Might have been your beard. Talk
Might
again,
be
Black Light.
peace, peace, peace,
Right,
peace,
perfect,
peace.
perfect, perfect, my brother. You know what's interesting, Black Light? I didn't even realize the last time I brought you on here was when Blue was on here. So
Right.
I didn't purposely, I just, something when I seen your name said call the brother up, and Blue just happened to be here again. So it's interesting that whatever. But I remember last time you was on here, very interesting what you dropped on us, and I would just like to know, like, in terms of 3-eye Atlas, what we're talking about, everything going on right now. This brother is from what I gather, from what I know, the brother's kind of dope with this channeling thing. And I'm gonna have a channel panel. I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna do it the top of the year, the new year. But
Channel
before we
panel.
get a channel panel, yeah, I'm gonna have like 5 or 6 of them, 5 or 6 channelers in our community, male and female, because oftentimes people just associate that with the sisters, but we
Right.
got brothers who's dope channelers also.
Right.
So that's gonna be a real dope show. This brother's gonna be on the lineup. But what you got for us, brother? What's going on? I don't know if you're going through your notes right now. I don't know, but what's happening right now, brother? In terms of information in the spiritual realm, my brother.
I mean, it's always a lot going on.
Mhm.
Always a lot going on. To really make it simple, it's really just to be simple, because there is so much going on. So to be more in isolation, to just delve more into your own spiritual divine being, because in your essence alone is enough. And that is it, because all the work is already done. You know what I'm saying? The awakening is happening inside your body. So as long as you tap in, you'll be able to activate it with subtlety, like with just a breath, with just simply smiling at someone. You can then change lives of hundreds and thousands of beings.
Okay.
Being in your spirit of love and being kind and sharing that energy will shift the vibration and assist then on the ascension of the planet. And that's currently, what they refer to it as is the dark night of the soul, is what the earth is going through, shedding and the clearing. But that inner awakening that's happening for her to then go back into then her celestial kin, her own divine, um, history and lineage that was shadowed from her, was kept hidden for quite some time. That veil that was over her, um, is thin, and it's so thin that it just doesn't exist anymore. That's how potent then our energy is, that it almost doesn't exist anymore. So in your own essence of just being light and embracing the dark that you would naturally go into in your silence, in your stillness, in your rest, in your own magnified being that's awakening and that's online, does everything, changes everything. So never dismiss your significance of your piece of the puzzle right now. And just the slightest thing that you're doing, if you're doing it with intention, is going to mean everything, because all you have to do is live from that place of authenticity. If you are simply being yourself, honoring who you are, honoring how you feel, honoring everything that you're doing in honesty and truth, you're going to do wonders. And it's like you're going to spread everything to everyone who isn't even awake, so that they know exactly what to do on their journey without having to seek so much, because you don't have to seek anymore. You just be. And in the essence of just being, you're becoming, and you're becoming. That is part of the shift and the ascension that you are experiencing on your journey. And I remember saying, um, in reference to the Lyrians and the Lumerians, when I mentioned what was
Right.
happening with your Atlas, when you talked to me about that
Right.
before,
Right.
it is it's a collective. It's a collective. It was led by the Lyrians. That's where I'm mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, all the Lemurians or the Lyrians, it was headed by the Lyrians, not the
What
Lumerians.
3-hour atlas?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's a collective of all beings. So from the Arcturians to the Atlanteans to the Palladians, it's a collective of all of them. So um, they have like a galactic council of five, a galactic, and heads of those like councils. They're on those ships with other beings in their ranks. Um, but it's a collective of all of those energies that are here just to assist with the shift of Earth that is heading back into then her celestial background of where she used to be. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if people remember or know, but this planet was the first Earth. And this was the Earth that was like a melting pot of all energies that they came to for refuge, for sanctuary, for camaraderie. It was a collective of all the entities who sought this place for growth.
Wait.
So
So you said it. You said this planet was the first birth. What did you say?
the first Earth, the first Earth. It's many
Okay.
Earths. This was the
Okay.
first.
Okay.
This was the first Earth.
Okay.
So this was like a melting pot for all the beings just to come to, for a place of sanctuary, like I mentioned. I guess that's the
Right.
best word for sanctuary, for refuge, for just almost like a like a restitute resort type of spot, because this was where
Mm.
all the flourishing of different nourishing plants, everything was at its abundance. You know what I'm saying? So from the water to the earth to the air to the trees, everything was at its highest vibration. So this place was best for planting the seeds, for enjoying the fruits of everything that came from here. And it just changed. It changed for many different reasons. That's a whole different story. But the vibrations naturally were supposed to be what created contrast, so that we can continue to learn more of ourselves. Um, Have y'all heard of Barbello?
No.
Um, okay, because Blue, you do the Sunday joint still, right?
Yes, sir.
So from Sophia, from Barbello to there's another divine feminine being. But it's interesting though, because these names don't get mentioned, and
Mm-hmm.
these names are divine feminine energies that lived in darkness, that were part of the creation of what brought on the archons, brought on the darkness that shifted the vibrations for us to create the veil for the reptilians and all these other entities to come forth and to create then discord that was essential for us to know ourselves even more, because we were already divine and pure and light from everything that already existed, of course, from as above so below. So celestially everything was in harmony. It was in a harmonic fashion for us to like just exemplify just love and the vibration of it. So that's why we lived in harmony, and everyone that came here flourished in it, hence it being like a resort.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a shift that happened, and it's an interesting thing how we have this interdimensional, like it's so many different dimensions that we just don't talk about. It's so many intergalactic, I mean, this is so many universes. So it's a quantum experience, and they're somewhat envious or jealous, and I say they being other entities outside who can only witness us. The law of some law of interaction where they cannot interfere, they just can watch us. Just the same way that
Like,
negative entities, they can't really do anything to you but seduce and persuade.
right.
They can never force. So they're envious of the fact that we have the emotional bodies within this flesh to
Yeah.
access and to do things the same way they do, but at a greater level, because we possess both. So that both duality energies was preyed upon and was used then to then create the separation, create the disillusion, and the masters of deception made sure to keep us in separation of that knowledge. So we're waking to that now, to know that there was never supposed to be a separation, and that masculine and that feminine is both what keeps us in a great deal of power. That light and that dark is the same. That's where I came back to it. So Blue, you mentioned how Lucifer could have been Jesus at the same time. um, I think you mentioned something like that at one point,
Mm-hmm.
but that is a real thing. And of course, as Lucifer was an angel, and lo and behold, and I think we'll talk about this later, Rich, because it's like I'm slipping into like a path of my journey where Lucifer is actually my brother. We share the same father, and he has the father that's known as Thanes. I call him Thanes. People would know him here in the third dimension from comic books and other theatrical ways of Thanos. But he's merciless nonetheless. But he's not an evil guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw a lot of different in the last 3 or 4 years, so-called enemies, villains become actually championed, because we saw their plight, we saw their mind, we saw the Joker, um, we saw what's my man in Black Panther. We saw all of these other sides that made sense because we resonated with their emotional journey and connection to why they did what they did and why
Mm.
they were moving how they were moving. And it's no different, you know what I'm saying? So we possess all of this though, and that's the dynamic of where we are now. So I have LSE and a whole practice now that's preaching on divine darkness, that's talking more of just what lies within your subconscious, that is now being pushed on everything and everyone to be something more than just what is perceived in its negative light. But this light is no more than the power that runs in darkness, as from the dark comes the light. And the essence of what Lucifer is light. And he chose then to do something different because he no longer wanted to be a part of a vibration that was saying something that was purely supposed to be one thing. He now is over it though, in terms of not wanting to dabble in the chaos and kind of the fuckery of what's been going on. He He wants to come back to the light. So he's kind of chilling, and now everything is in our community even just perpetuating its own demise. Like there's no need for a victimized mindset to say what is and what isn't, and for someone to say that the white man and all this is a fallacy. If you're still into that spell, then that's what that will be until you wake up, or until you actually know that there's no need for anything outside of yourself to be seen as something negative, as I just don't see things to be good or bad. I see them to be good or great. The darkness is essentially what I say metaphorically. If we cooking in the kitchen, me and you having an argument, brother Rich, and it's not about how you react or how what you do, it's about how you. It's not about what happens to you, rather, it's about how you respond to it. So can you cook in the kitchen with me? What do they say about cooking in the kitchen? If it's too hot, get the fuck up out of there. But yet, anyone who I'm able to now move forward in my divine darkness, hence cooking in the kitchen, if you're able to have conversations with me that are something that you don't agree with, that may be disruptive for you, there's some type of resistant energy, how long can you continue cooking in the kitchen? Our meals are going to be fire. We're going to share the same small space. It's hot. You might push me from my stove that I'm cooking, chefing, and we're sharing the same utensils, even the same spices, yet our food is going to be different. You're going to say things I might not like. Could you not respond and listen to understand me while we're having some form of then heated discussion that seems aggressive and hot, where fire will erupt, if not this already has? How composed can you be in those moments? How still can you be in those moments? How much can you listen so that you can actually enhance your level of communication that can only strengthen your relationships, as this is a form of darkness, this is a form of shadow that, again, as I bring it full circle, is a part of what's happening in the world. Not everybody's going to make it, though. Not everybody has that emotional discernment, that emotional intelligence and awareness and maturity to speak with a level head, even when they're under duress. So, I'm an archangel. My brother mentioned he wanted me to be in his army, wanted me to run his army as a general, because of how composed I can be when I'm super hot. I'm mad, hot as fuck. I don't want to talk. When I talk, it's in a very, as a matter of fact, diligent way. But if you can feel it and you can see it energetically, maybe on a clairvoyant level, or even just having that sensitivity on a clairsentient level, and it's heightened, you'll see me full fire. So I'm a dragon king of fire. I'm a Sagittarius stellium, and everything in my essence moves that way. But some people will get it, some people won't. If you're sensitive, if you're highly emotional at this time, the energies will be high for you. But how patient can you be to be resilient in those moments that make you feel uncomfortable, that push you to the edge? And then how can you respond to it, knowing that if you didn't say anything, how powerful it is in your stillness, in your mind, of what you didn't say? So I said a lot. It sounded like I was going all over the place. I kind of
Yeah.
tend to do that sometimes, but
Yeah.
but to bring it full circle, what's happening on the planet when you refer to the dark night of the soul, of what the planet's ascending from, the shadow that she was under, the shadows that now are emerging within our being that we must now acknowledge, as you don't want to just shun your demons away. There's no such thing. Get to know it, talk to it.
Mhm.
If not, call its name out so it can know the power that you have, because the prey that it seeks are the ones who don't know themselves. And if you don't know yourself, or don't know that it isn't something to be in fear of, then it'll prey upon your weakness of ignorance, of lack of knowledge, that it is something that you should never fear. It never feared it. There's nothing to fear with any form of demonic entity, of anything that's been seen to be something of a parasite. Dr. Phil Valentine calls them parasites. But this parasitic elite was only able to get strength because it perpetuated something for you to see it as something to fear. And it managed to do that successfully in film and music and all the things that we're eating. And if you're conscious enough now to be aware of what's happening, you should be thriving to know that darkness is an opportunity of growth, and it's a divine darkness to step more into, because this is a power source. as you can only get light from the darkness, period.
I want to ask you one question, my brother, before we move on with the show. And I definitely appreciate you coming on the platform. Like I said, I'm definitely going to have the brother on a channel panel the top of the year. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be super awesome. The channelers that I'm going to get on that show. According to your information and knowledge, brother, what was the major disagreement, if you have knowledge of this? And I'm sure you delved in different cultures and time periods and history. What was the major disagreement between the Atlanteans and the Lemurians, and the reason why we had this catastrophic event happen on the planet as a result of that? I was watching the video the other day, so I'm like, let me ask this brother. I was watching this video the other day, and yeah, but go ahead.
What I remember and what was told when I heard from an
My
Atlantean,
house is loud. Yo.
when I heard from an Atlantean, the Atlanteans just got really comfortable. They got really comfortable, and they weren't honoring. It's almost similar as well. This is a similar journey that I actually had with my ancestors when I got in touch with my ancestors officially, because I found out when they came back, they were super pissed off because the entities conspired, because they actually, as dragons, some of the first entities that were created, they were throwing off the balance because they were operating too much more in a dominant fashion. So it was throwing the tip of the harmonic scale off, with the 432 hertz frequency of what was happening celestially in their realm of Orion, and it was spilling over. So they were operating with a sense of like carelessness that was operating then in a chaotic way. It started to slip into the same thing the Atlanteans were operating in. They were relishing in abundance and were somewhat going to a place of arrogance. So they got kind of sloppy in terms of being conscious of what they were needing to perpetuate still, in keeping the harmonic vibration at its highest. And so with that, they never got clear about what it was the Lemurians were trying to communicate to them when it was time to shift things. And they got careless. They got a little ignorant because of that. So because of that, it's like the wave and the tidal washed them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's naturally what happened to my ancestors, as again they conspired and threw them in the void. It wasn't until I met a powerful witch who was able to communicate to them, because she opened up a portal for them and they came back through, and that's how I got back in touch with them in this lifetime. But and so they came back pissed, and my room at the time was filled with everybody. The Palladians were there. It's like the Arcturians were there. The Archons were over there, and then they were just in light language, going crazy, yelling at them. And Atlanteans unfortunately fell to their demise because they weren't operating on their highest divine purpose anymore, and they got seduced into hearing the spells that should have helped them. They heard it and they saw it in reverse. It was a trickery on their mind. They tricked themselves, though. It wasn't someone that tricked them. They tricked themselves because they put themselves in a place of ignorance. It's no different than what we were doing to ourselves right now.
So
we have no enemy.
It wasn't the Archons who tricked them. It was like
it was almost like it was a few of them. So like I said, my ancestors were conspired with. It wasn't the same exactly, because like everybody conspired against my ancestors at the time because of how powerful they were. They had to get forcefully put into this void. In this case, Lumerians, Archons, and then another entity, I think it was the Arcturians, were also communicating with the Atlanteans, and then they just weren't listening. And so they had to get wiped out. And it was because of them. They have to be accountable and blame themselves. There's nobody they can blame but the Atlanteans.
Blue, it's interesting hearing the brother talk about.
It's so many overlaps with what's going on right now, in our reality.
Oh, definitely.
Do y'all remember when I mentioned the 3 days of darkness? And I was like, you remember you asked me that question? He was like, yo, so what's something that you don't think that's not being spoken about?
Right.
I just got word new information in regard to that, and it's no longer the type of perilous doomsday type of information that I said will like put you in a paralysis. If you recall mentioning that, it's different now. It's transmuted. Like, you know, nothing stays the same. It always changes. I was given specific information in regards to this. It's very short. If you don't mind, I'll share it with you real quick.
Yeah, my brother, real quick. Yeah. Man, it's
Because I found it fascinating, and of course, I just, you know, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised because there's nothing that stays the same. You know, we can, you know, from the psychics, from the mediums, who can predict the future. It's like, just stay tuned because we're surprising them, mind you. You know, those who have insight to tell us what's going to happen. Some of them don't. They can't tell us because they're not supposed to, but they also um, know that it's shifting and changing, and they actually give us a lot of praise and congratulate us because we are in a place to kind of be the bridge once again. You know what I'm saying? And shift it all up. And I wrote it down. Now, where's it sit at? Okay. And it was it's powerful information. It's just a little paragraph here, and it was so deep I didn't want to write anymore, honestly. And if you want that information, I can definitely send it to you afterwards because it's all in video on YouTube. Again, the stuff sometimes that I get are from channel messages on YouTube that I'm able to decipher because of it being just clear as day, not from a freaking AI device. It's them just giving the messages. They're utilizing these tools to communicate the messages. And I'm about to find it in a second, man. I'm about to find it in a second.
all right. In the meantime, I want to thank everybody. Somebody said he's a wizard. No, the brother's deep. The brother's deep, and it's an honor having a brother on here and speak his knowledge to close out the show before me and Blue Pill officially close it out. So it's dope, you know, and giving people an opportunity, new people opportunity to express their, you know, what's on their mind, you know. Ancestral deception has been a phenomenon. Yep. I agree. I agree. Yeah. But we're gonna keep this thing going for a little while longer. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in tonight. And it's been a great show with Blue Pill, man. Wow, we had such a good conversation about Saturn, the 6-point star, the whole winter solstice, Saturnalia, the ancient celebration at this time. It's an amazing conversation. So yeah, very happy about that. I'm gonna bring that energy to me to the dream realm. My new thing is, well, go ahead, brother. Ready now? All right, brother. Go ahead.
All right. So the 3 days of darkness. Let me bring people back up to speed just a little bit because I mentioned it as being like it wasn't an end. It was just an invitation. You know, like a doorway to something greater than we can ever imagine. It's like a sacred pause, essentially, like a recalibration, like a divine moment of like reset, like for all of humanity. So just imagine it like a planetary deep breath, like a cosmic moment of stillness before the dawn of a new era. And essentially, it was going to, for some, bring a level of paralysis where they literally just won't be able to move their bodies because as everything shuts down, the technology shuts down, the grid changes, it shifts in your favor. Um, it can be like a gloom where then the purge would happen and so many people would be taken advantage of because those who would be within those dark spaces would ignite, as some would ignite in stillness and their light and vibration of highlighting their power in meditation and stillness. Some would actually be activated in their lower vibration, hence why then, you know, they would go straight to their root, and violence and chaos and the type of savagery and carnal energy that would be activated comes into play for that purpose. That's not the case anymore. So the new form of the 3 days of darkness, which I just got wind of just the other day, it's the light that it doesn't fight darkness anymore. It dissolves the need for it. So through collective intention, emotional maturity, and embodied presence. So what once was required as a rupture, it now unfolds through coherence. The same energy that once manifested as fear-based prophecy is now expressed itself as healing frequency. So the 3 days is it does not disappear. So they just transmute. So they become thresholds rather than catastrophes, passages rather than endings, and veils rather than shadows. And a veil by nature is not an enemy. It's just a boundary between states of awareness, one that becomes transparent when consciousness is ready. So it's a pause without collapse this time. It's depth without panic, and reality is just reorganizing itself around a different center. So not by fear, but by presence. So what unfolds now, um, it doesn't demand survival. It just invites participation. And the transformation of this prophecy is not happening to humanity, it's happening through it. And the shift from darkness to luminous veils is not symbolic, it's structural. So it's just woven into the way consciousness it now interacts with time, matter, and possibility. And I left it there because it was just so much, and it was kind of
Yeah.
blowing my mind.
No, definitely, definitely. Hey, listen, my brother, I want to thank you for coming on. Just short, super short notice. You didn't know you was gonna come on
I
today,
didn't either, bro.
but yeah. I just want to, son just told me call the brother up real quick. Let the brother kick it for a little while, and I definitely gonna get you on when I do this channel panel, my brother. Let the people know your name and how they can contact you, my brother.
Man, please for having me on, bro. I literally was just doing another impromptu, like happy Kwanzaa for those who celebrate it, because my
Mhm.
homegirl in Costa Rica wanted me to do some DJing for her through her
Okay.
Zoom. And so today is Unity.
Yes.
First day of Kwanzaa, today's Unity. I did that, got off, and then saw you alive. Boom, I
Mhm.
saw Blue Pill on here, and that's how it happened. So divinely. Um,
And
but you can find me on IG. It's pretty much the only thing I got right now. I haven't been too present on social media, but if
What's
you
your IG? What's your
would love
IG?
a reading, I'm giving readings right now. It's at BLAKLIGHT as you see it with the 88 at the end. And yeah, I'll be having a YouTube and everything else popping really soon. My birthday's on Thursday on 1/1.
Oh,
I'm not
fire.
sure what I'm gonna do just yet. It's actually on the last day of Kwanzaa, which would be faith. So
right.
it's gonna be an interesting thing. I don't know what's gonna happen, man, but we gonna see. And I'm grateful, man. Frank, thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank
It's
you, bro.
likewise always good
Thank,
to see you, Blue.
thank you, my brother. We gonna talk soon, my brother.
Love, love,
Yes.
love.
Peace, peace and
Peace.
love. All right. Shout out to
So
my brother Black Light.
yeah,
Indeed.
as a Capricorn, as the union of black and light, as we speak about Saturn, which is governed by
White, black, white. You got
right the color black, the number eight, right? Because eight also is the eighth placement for in astrology. That would be like Scorpio.
that. Mm-hmm.
Scorpio will also be recognized as color black. So with all that being said, in the spontaneity of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And us speaking about antiquity and us speaking about the darkness and how people are fearful of these aspects, for bro to just show up like that with such a calming spirit and demeanor to explain something that is deeper than the abyss,
Mm-hmm.
again, it just speaks to how these cosmic forces be moving. That's a three body solution that we didn't even bargain for,
Mm.
and it's an amazing way to lend credibility to today's conversation because he's a Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And that was gold level breakdown of what he just did.
Indeed. Indeed. Now, yo, what?
Shout out to the Pans of the world. Shout out to the Dawoos of the world. Right. Shout out to Isaiah. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to Big Man. Who else? These are people that we know who have dealt with, you know, information from the dark side, tales from the dark side.
No, indeed. Somebody said Saturn came through in real time. No, that's a fact. That's facts. That's facts. Let me see if I could get one more question into my brother Blue, because we about to hit the 2 hour mark. So let me get one more question for my brother Blue before we okay. What's the proper way to research symbolic spiritual lineage across your ancestors? He said he had the same father, question mark.
Yeah, that you want to go?
No, get bro. No, get Blue.
Yeah, there. I guess there would be different ways people go about deriving that information. There are traditional spiritual systems where you can sit on the mat and get a reading, and they can tell you who you have certain aspects of spiritual affinities to, what spiritual lineage you come from, whether it is a particular pantheon or based on a region. And then I guess there's also ways that you can intuitively know certain things, right? I don't know. We would have to ask the brother specifically as to how he came about, his information and him knowing what he knew. But he said that he was the brother of Lucifer, but they shared the same father, and that father being, again, an ancient, antiquated entity that we would know in our fictionalized understanding today as Thanos. If it was framed to us through the Marvel comic universe. But he said that the combined name was Thane. And in ancient time, there's also like the name of Bane, even though we find that in DC Comics. These these beings, these entities have connections in ancient mythology as well. So
Indeed. Hey, Blue, man, listen. I want to thank you for this show tonight, Blue. Let the people know your contact information, Blue, so they
yeah,
can get in touch with you, my brother.
I I do just want to say one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
As we're speaking about the subconscious and things that we do that we don't even know all the way why we do them,
Mm-hmm.
and me doing a little bit deeper research into this particular aspect of Saturn and reaffirming that Saturn specifically, it comes from the etymological word of satis. Satre is the Etruscan word that they say it may come from. It means the sower, the one who plants. And I just so happened to have just started my a miniature farm. I call it it's part of what we call a farming. But I just set up like a microgreen farm, and they sprouted. I just started a whole mushroom grow,
Excellent.
the blue oysters growing.
Excellent.
Saying I just set up my hydroponics. So once
Excellent.
again, these are things that we can find ourselves doing subconsciously or even consciously to
Mm-hmm.
tap into the energy of this particular time, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and really, really drawing upon the energy of what these symbols mean. But in real time, we got to get back to farming, y'all. And with that, at Blue Pillar 44, all across social media, and Blue Pillar 44 at Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And with that,
Peace,
appreciate
my
it.
brother. I'm gonna talk to you soon, Blue. Gotta link it with you this weekend, my brother, or sometime soon, so we could get some. You know what I gotta talk to you about? That I tell you I'm gonna call the America's First joint. I
Ah,
got the app coming out, and I want to shoot a video, and I gotta talk to you, and we gotta get some things. I already talked to Red about it.
okay.
Um, but I want to shoot a video, and I want to get some things going forward with that.
Let's
So
do
I'm uh, gotta talk to you about music related stuff, my
for
brother.
sure. All right. Let's
Talk to
get
you
it.
soon, bro.
Peace, y'all.
Peace. All right. Shout out to my brother Blue family. I'm about to get out of here, but wow, that was a good show with the brother Blue Pill. Good way to end it with the brother Black Light coming on. Like somebody said, Saturn came in real time. That was what a great way to conclude that show on Saturn. Saturn scares the shit out of people. Like, I mean, it scares people. It just never scared me. I've always been interested in the deeper understanding and meaning of Saturn and what it represents. And yeah, it's just dope to do a show like this. It's dope to definitely do a show like this. But I think tomorrow, well, let me tell y'all this. Tomorrow, Rod Hayes will be live. I'm not going to be live on YouTube. Rod Hayes will be live on Patreon tomorrow. So Rod Hayes will be live on Patreon tomorrow for the spiritual therapy. I want all of y'all who's a Patreon to tune in, because that's when y'all get an opportunity to kick it, talk to Rod Hayes, ask him about real life situations that you got going on. That show is going to be tomorrow at 9 p.m. So definitely, if you are a Patreon member, tune in tomorrow. If you're not a Patreon, sign up. It's definitely worth it. It's one of my favorite shows on Patreon. Rod Hayes Spiritual Therapy. Right after that, we got something coming with my brother Sharif that I'm gonna tell y'all about tomorrow. But right now, let me tell y'all about the brother Rod Hayes. He will be on Patreon tomorrow. All right, 9 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Somebody said, same. I don't F with Saturn, LOL. Now I hear you. You gotta do what you gotta do, and you gotta family, you have to respect where you're at, what level you're at. So if you don't mess with something, it don't matter what nobody else say. Be honest with yourself. It's like, say if I don't mess with people be like, yo, let's all talk to ghosts or whatever. Yeah, we go communicate. I'm like, nah, I don't fuck with that. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. Like, one of the things about our journey is being honest about where we're at in our journey, whether somebody agrees with it or disagree with it. So for somebody to say I don't F with Saturn, that's dope. I want us all to be honest about where we're at in our journey. And maybe it may not be time for us to delve into certain things, or maybe it may never be time for us to delve into certain things. But what's important for us is to be honest about where we're at and not to follow what the trend is. All right. So I definitely appreciate that. Definitely. Somebody said I don't F with the moon either. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, you gotta, I definitely deal with the moon and rituals. I've always been a moon guy. So, but you gotta respect where people are at. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about this channel is that it's not an organization where you have to believe in this. You belong to an organization, you have to believe in this. You have no. You could do, listen, man, there's many ways to the light. I respect everybody's way to the light, whether it's the dark way or the light way. Darkness is light that we just can't understand at this aspect of our consciousness. So whether you're the left path, right path, whatever, many ways to the light, many ways to the light. But yeah, shout out to all of y'all in the chat. Let me see what else y'all talking about. Oh, once again, family, make sure, I just came back from Honduras. Make sure y'all donate and get your cigar. I got the humidors. Listen, and I put them. If y'all was to see how soft these new batches, and my last batch was soft, like it smells incredibly good. Like I absolutely can't wait to get another cigar when I end this show. I mean, wow, the cigars have been the surprise of my year. I've had a quiet year for the most part, but me getting involved in the cigars, it's been the most beautiful thing. Let me share the link with y'all. Yeah, somebody said shoot the link. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna do it right now. Make sure y'all send a donation. Like for those who don't know, if you donate, it's a PayPal link. You donate 30 or more, you get access to the cigars. It's donation based. you know, and a donation of 30 or more guarantees you access to a cigar. But I mean, wow, like what I tell you, like I'm picking it back because I just want to smell it again. I just want to smell red. Like I listen. We talking about Saturn. Listen, you can't say Saturn without a cigar. You need a cigar. You need the hat. The hat, that blue hat on. If blue had the cigar, it would have been a wrap. Or that's all you needed was cigar and that. Yeah, I'm not. I was shipping in Canada, but right now, you know, I'm gonna just do the states right now. You know, because people order from, like I said, it's donation based, so it's just a cigar. People order from the UK, and the shipping itself is $25, $30, and then you know what I'm saying. So I don't want confusion with the international order. I mean, if you got a huge order, then yeah, you know you go, but you know, shipping itself is $20, $30, and that's the cheap shipping across overseas. So for now, I'm just, you know, sticking with the. And I got a couple of people with Canada, and yeah, I got somebody from Canada who ordered a lot. But in general, you know, I'm trying to just stay low because it's just, like I said, the shipping is $30, and then you got to tell the people, and they like, you know, a person from the UK order one cigar, and then I gotta ship it. And ship it is $30 with it itself. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's in 3 states down or something like that. So you know, I'm just, you know, yeah, the shipping is insane. Yeah, the shipping is a lot, but the cigars have been hands down. Cigars is what really inspired and influenced me to change the name. Now, I don't want to say the cigars because it's the I am energy, the, you know, but the cigars is like a communication device, and it allows me to connect with my higher self at a greater rate than I normally can sometime, or maybe I don't know how to sometime. But it's a great communication device to the spirit realm. You know, this is a simulation realm, and then you got the real world outside of this world. And the cigars, there's something about a cigar that connects the worlds together, and I'm just able to communicate better with the other realm, and more effectively. That's what's important. And just getting certain downloads about changing the name of my channel. I made bold moves this year, changing the name of my channel, and even changing my name from Black Magic, like, to Radiohead Rich. Yeah, I just you know, I'm thankful for the channels I get while I'm smoking a cigar. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's unlike anything I can explain, and I can see why. When in ancient times, you know, somebody come to your land, you offer them a cigar as a gift if they're, you know, royalty or whatever, or you know, you offer cigars as a, like, it's an amazing gift, and especially cigars that aren't tainted by pesticides, chemicals, and all this stuff. They took our medicine. See, our technology is Mother Nature. This is why I said with Carbon Code Collective, if they go right, if they go left, we're going right. So their technology is computers, and that's dope. We're going to utilize computers. I'm going to utilize artificial intelligence, but at the same time, Carbon Code Collective, our technology is Mother Nature. And tobacco is an aspect of Mother Nature. And if that resonates with you, then yeah, it resonates with you. And that's an aspect of art. This is technology. This is why I'm saying it's technology. It's not like we have to read the English language, then change things around. Like, what if somebody was born and they were taught this was technology? They would utilize it completely different from a person who's smoking a cigar watching a football game on Sunday night. This is technology, but we were never taught that this was technology. So when myself or somebody else talk about it, we're just like, you know, but I mean, like this right here, all of this, like the smell, like when I tell y'all, you got to go to Honduras Then you got to drive 4 hours just to get. Listen, I got a brother that got a car that drives 5 hours. He leaves 4 in the morning to come meet me with these. I mean, listen, if you're only new, and it's not just once you know, and I'm gonna share the link again. It's not just once you know, it's what you do with once you know. So if you know what this is capable of doing, what are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna take it serious? Are you gonna be by yourself? Are you gonna really, So it's like, yeah, we really got to tap into our technology. In this new paradigm, I'm all about our technology. Our human body, the macabre, tobacco, nicotine, things like that. This is our technology that was taken from us and corrupted. So I said Baram Sani is Saturn and loves cigars. Yeah, well, I'm Saturn and I love cigars. How about that? I'm number 8 and I love cigars. So shout out to Baram Sandi. Shout out to what he has done for the culture. Now I'm here and I'm doing something for the culture. And I'm letting y'all know I'm a number 8 and I love cigars too. And I'm here to offer y'all the best cigars on the planet right now. Crystals on them. So, like I said, it's donation based. So you could donate and get a cigar, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But I'm about to get out of here. Yeah, Papa Leg Bar also. Yep. Yeah, I heard both of them. Yeah, you're right. Yep. You're absolutely right. Yep. Let me see it. yeah. Definitely be happy. I agree. I'm sharing a link. If you want to know how to donate, I'm sharing a link. The link is in the chat. I just actually shared the link. The link is in the chat. If anybody in the chat did not get their cigars, let me know. I don't know if we have anybody who did not order it and did not get it. Feel free to let me know. I will share the email where you can contact me. I got a order going out on Monday. So if there's anybody in the chat who did not get their cigars, and that happens sometime, it might go to the wrong address, whatever, let me know. But somebody said donate on 12/16. Okay, well, if you donate, okay, it should be on its way. It should be on its way. You can always email me. You can always email me and I'll let you know, but it shouldn't be far from you getting it. I just put my email to the person who said they ordered on December 16th. I just put my email. Yeah, well, somebody said, Rich, does your cigar have an expiration date? Yeah, I mean, I don't want you to hold it on to it for a long time, because you may not store it the proper way, and I'm storing it the proper way. Like, so I have several things. I have humidors. See, I have humidors that have a temperature on it, and it keeps the cigars at a certain temperature. And I got my other cigars. I keep them. Let me show y'all. So this is how I keep the ones that I don't have in there. This keeps it at a certain temperature. Right? So this it's humidity, two-way humidity control, and it keeps the cigars at a certain temperature, and it allows it. It's like super duper soft, y'all. Like you even if you get a Cohiba, you get a Cohiba and touch this. This is hand rolled cigars, and it's a difference. And so I got different methods of storing them, but I got like 5 humidors, and then I keep the rest in here. But that packet I got. So basically to say, just don't hold on to it for a long time. It ain't gonna last It ain't gonna last a year. Somebody said, "How can I purchase 2 dozen?" Well, email me. I sent my email, and it's all based on your donation. Email me, and we'll talk. Email me. You know, it's all based on your donation. To the link that I just sent. I'm gonna order again on Monday. So, how was your experience, Stu89? How was your experience with the cigars from Honduras? How much is that humidor? Like $2. The humidor is like $2. Oh, well, you talking about the packet? I don't know if you. Well, the humidor, the big box I had, that was like $400. But that little packet I had was $2. The pack. You know what's weird? You know what's funny? The humidor gives a cigar a different taste, and I kind of like the taste of cigars outside of the humidor when it's just with the packet. It's weird. Like you could taste because the humidor has it's wood. Let me see if I can show you. So within the humidor, it's wood all in there, right? It's wood all in there, and you end up tasting the wood on the cigar. And I guess it's depending on what you want to taste. But like you could taste the wood a little bit. I like the cigar without the wood taste on it. You know, I like the cigar without the wood taste on it. So I spent $400 on that, but to be honest, I like the cigar without the wood taste on it. Somebody said, what are the benefits? It's unlimited. So many. Just to tell you one, a big one that Rod Hayes talked about is focus. The ability to focus. You know, some people take drugs to focus, have this incredible focus. What's that drug? Not Ritalin. What's that drug the college kids take? What's that drug the college kids take? Shit, it's on the tip of my tongue. What's that thing the college kids take? For focus, but while somebody put that there, focus and just the ability to listen. You hear things. Adderall, yeah, thank you, C Diggs, Adderall, yeah, it's like a natural Adderall. It creates a focus for you that you block out the world and you just zero in on whatever you're focused on. Yeah, it's like natural Adderall, but the ability to, when you get downloads, like I said, there's an inner voice that we don't hear, but we hear. There's not a voice that we hear, but we hear things, and that voice becomes louder. That's why I would say, especially do the cigars by yourself. I will always say that. Like sometimes I do it with Red Pill, but you have to do them by yourself. You have to. You have to. Have to do them by himself, and you're able to hear messages that you normally probably wouldn't be able to hear. You probably would be too distracted to hear, but because you have that intense focus, you can hear it. It's good for you. It's, our body has nicotine receptors all over it, so the nicotine has benefits. We get some of our nightshade vegetables like celery has nicotine in them. And Dr. B talks about that. Eggplants, things like eggplants and celery has nicotine in them, and it's tremendous effects. During the 2020 Jabberwocky thing, people were taking the white people were taking nicotine patches and putting them on them. So it's like tremendous benefits with that as well. And it's just, yeah, of course you can hear better. I mean, everything gets amplified. You can hear better, see better. Like it's just because you're more present. You're more present. And shout out to everybody who would, and like I wouldn't compare these to gummies at all. Like no. I wouldn't compare these to gummies at all. No. I wouldn't compare these to gummies at all. Limitless, yeah. Somebody said, I would love to break it down. Yeah. Maybe one day soon. Infinite intelligence, one day soon. Yo, Wise Alchemy said, I did 3 months worth of math homework in one night. Yeah, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. You get tapped in and you just get busy. Whatever you got to do, like if you got a project or something you got to do, smoke one and get busy. Get into it. You be zoned out into what you're doing, and you do it to the best of your ability at that. You know. Somebody said, "Well, I mean, that's what the weed does for me." I mean, yeah, but weed has, everybody to each his own. I'm gonna just say that to each his own. This is just a natural thing, but to each his own. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, we gotta do a lot about drugs and play. Yeah. I mean, this is Mother Nature is our technology, and when you put a stigma or when you make it give a bad reputation to our technology, but then you gonna have us on the motherfucking phone all day long. You gonna have us on the phone all day long on their technology. Give our kids cocoa melon. Come on now, my children gonna be in the cocoa melon, but you gonna tell me our shit is bad? Our Mother Nature technology is bad. That's why I'm glad. Wait till Mr. G come out with his drink. I think maybe in January and February. You know. Yeah, the year of the signals, 2026, the year of the signals, indeed. Yeah, we signaling all 2026. We signaling all 2026. All 2026. You know? But with that being said, I guess I'm gonna get out of here. Let me leave the link one more time for the family in the chat. If you want to donate and experience one of these radio cigars, like I said, these are communication devices to the ancestral realm. We have our own technology. I can't wait to start this Carbon Code Collective. I really can't wait. It's going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Rich, what's your perspective? Many spiritual leaders share that our bodies produce what we seek from nature. Do you think, based on this, we should smoke the cigar? Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, your body has nicotine receptors. Your body, it's interesting. Your body also produces its own water. You don't have to drink water for your body to have water within it. Your body, KT talked about this. Your body even produces water on its own. But that doesn't mean we should not drink water, but your body produces water. What I would say is follow your intuition, because your body produces DMT. Your body produces DMT. Your body produces nicotine. Your body produces THC, the marijuana. Your body produces all that. So I would say follow your intuition. I would say follow your intuition. That's what I would say. Definitely follow your intuition. My intuition told me that I'm really not into certain plants. I'm not into shrooms. I'm not into a lot of things. I've tried them. The nicotine resonates with me a lot. I get a lot of results from the cigars. So, like I said, somebody said link to it's donation based. The cigars is donation based. I just sent the link. $30 or more donation guarantees you a cigar. But yeah, I would say just follow your intuition. Somebody said I received mine 3 months ago. Do you think it's still good? Definitely, yeah, definitely. I'm mad at you. I'm mad that you just held on to them for 3 months. It ain't, you know what I mean? You supposed to like what's up, man. But listen, appreciate y'all. Tomorrow, Patreon, Rod Hayes, Spiritual Therapy, 9 p.m. Make sure y'all tune in. It's a call-in show, so I would love for y'all to call in and talk to Rod Hayes, or either send your question in through Patreon. With that being said, appreciate all of y'all for tuning in tonight. Brother Rich is getting out of here. I will see y'all when I see y'all. I'll see a lot of y'all tomorrow on Patreon. All right, family. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. See y'all soon, family. Peace and blessings. All right.